The episode starts with Arthur sitting at the piano in his pajamas. He's calm, relaxed, and says this Christmas is going to be the best one ever. Right away, the episode shows us something important. Arthur feels ready for Christmas, but not everyone does. DW bursts into the room yelling Arthur's name. She can't believe how calm he is. To DW, Christmas isn't peaceful, it's stressful. There are only 3 days left, and in her mind, everything has to be perfect. She hands Arthur a pencil and paper and tells him to help her write her letter to Santa. This moment is funny, but it also tells us a lot. DW isn't just excited, she feels pressure. She says she's only had 4 Christmases in her whole life. If this goes wrong, it will feel like a really big problem.
Arthur! What are you doing? Why are you so calm? Don't you know there are only 3 days till Christmas?
So?
So, there's work to be done. You have to help me write my wish list to Santa. My dearest Santa. No, that's too gushy. What about, hiya, Santa? Aw, that's way too friendly. Come on, Arthur, I need ideas. I've only had 4 Christmases in my whole life. What should I write?
Well, everything will be almost perfect.
DW is now putting her letter in the mailbox that's labeled for Santa at the North Pole. Even here, she's worried. She double checks with Arthur to make sure he didn't write Santa Cruz instead of Santa Claus. This shows how scared she is of things going wrong. Christmas hasn't even happened yet, and DW is already imagining mistakes. In the car, Arthur asks Mrs. Reed to turn on the radio to hear if it's going to snow. Snow is part of Arthur's perfect Christmas, but instead, a loud toy commercial comes on. DW loves it. Arthur hates it. This small moment shows how everyone wants something different. For DW, it's toys. For Arthur, it's the feeling, like snow, the calm atmosphere, and holiday music. When Mrs. Reed changes the station, DW immediately points out the toy she wants most. She reminds Arthur to make sure it's at the top of the list. Then she asks if Santa will get it for her. Her mom says they will just have to wait and see what happens. That answer isn't comforting to DW because waiting means uncertainty, and uncertainty is the enemy of expectations. This scene sets up the main conflict of the episode. Everyone wants Christmas to be perfect, but everyone wants something different. Arthur wants peace, DW wants reassurance, and the adults know that perfection isn't guaranteed. From the very beginning, this Christmas special shows us how holiday pressure starts before the holiday even arrives. And once these expectations get too high, disappointment becomes almost impossible to avoid.
DW, come on! We're gonna be late for school!
You wrote Santa Claus, right? Not Santa Cruz? I don't want it to go to the wrong place.
Yes, DW. Mom, could you turn on the radio? I want to see if it's gonna snow.
What's always at your feet and is really, really sweet? It's Tina, the talking tabby.
Don't even think about touching that dial.
Just scratch behind her ears and this is what you'll hear. I'm Tina, the talking tabby. Oh, Tina, Tina, tiny Tina, 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 tiny Tina, Tina, the talking tabby. Oh, Tina, Tina, tiny Tina,
Mom,
Tina,
change
Tina,
the station,
tiny,
please. It's giving me a headache.
Tabby.
Mom, that's a toy I really want. The one I just wrote Santa about. You put it at the top of the list, right, Arthur?
Yes, DW.
Mom, Santa will get it for me, won't he?
Oh, I don't know, honey. We'll just have to wait and see.
At Lakewood Elementary, Muffy pulls up in a limo, excited about her Christmas party. In her mind, everything is already planned. The music, the guests, the fun. Francine, on the other hand, is uncomfortable. She has already explained that she can't attend. Her family celebrates Hanukkah, and they have a tradition they do every year. This isn't an excuse, it's important to her. But Muffy doesn't really respond. She talks over Francine, she changes the subject, and she walks away. This exchange shows how holiday pressure can narrow someone's focus. Muffy isn't trying to be cruel. She's so wrapped up in her own plans that she doesn't slow down to hear anyone else.
Francine! Hi, Francine. Only one more day until my big party. Aren't you excited?
Muffy, I already told you I can't.
Oh, there's George. I forgot to invite him.
Hey, Francine, what's wrong? Muffy, that's what's wrong. She still thinks I'm coming to her party, even though I told her I can't go. Why not? Because my family's having a Hanukkah party tomorrow. We do it every year, when we light the last candle on the menorah. Maybe you need to tell her again. I've already told her like 1,000,000 times. It doesn't do any good. Watch.
Okay, see you there, George.
Muffy, I'm not coming to your party tomorrow.
Oh, guess what? I got the Squabs. You know, the rock band. It's going to be so cool.
See what I mean? It's like talking to a wall. Arthur?
Inside the classroom, George is proudly showing off Christmas ornaments hanging from his antlers. He shares a Swedish holiday tradition, explaining how people celebrate December 13th with an early morning parade following the Queen of Lights, who wears a crown of candles. George also passes around some lutefisk, a traditional fish that's been dried and boiled, which his grandparents sent him. Next, Binky takes center stage for his presentation. He explains that every Christmas, he and his parents volunteer at a soup kitchen to feed the homeless. This year, Binky gets to make dessert. Mr. Ratburn, clearly a fan of sweets, watches eagerly as Binky unveils his creation, a pecan pie. The class cheers and volunteers to try it, but when Mr. Ratburn takes a bite, he quickly spits it out, pointing out that Binky forgot to shell the pecans. Afterwards, Mr. Ratburn assigns a long essay about winter vacation. Even something meant to be joyful now has rules and deadlines attached. This reflects a real problem many people face. Sometimes the holidays don't feel relaxing because expectations keep piling up, whether it be from school, work, or family.
And in Sweden, they have a parade early in the morning on December 13th, where people follow the Queen of Light, who wears a crown of candles. My grandparents sent me some lutefisk, fish that's been dried and boiled. Pass it around.
Not bad. Every Christmas, my parents and I work at a soup kitchen and help feed homeless people. This year, I get to make dessert. Presenting the Binky Barnes Pecan Pie. Any volunteers?
I believe you have to shell the pecans, Binky.
Oh, I like it.
Okay, class. Before you leave for vacation, there's still the matter of homework. I've decided not to assign you any reading. Instead, you can write a 5-page essay describing what you did over the holidays. Class dismissed.
After class, Arthur meets Buster at his locker. Buster looks exhausted. He says he's going straight to bed because his mom woke him up at 6 in the morning, thinking it was already Christmas. Arthur is confused, but for Buster, this isn't new. It's been happening every year since his parents got divorced. In Buster's memory, we see what's really going on. Mrs. Baxter wakes up too early, convinced she's missed something important. She rushes to make pancakes and sets out presents before the sun is even up. And every time, Buster has to tell her it's not Christmas yet. On the surface, this is played like a joke, but the reason behind it isn't funny. Mrs. Baxter is scared that without Buster's dad around, Christmas won't feel good enough. She's trying to over-prepare because she's afraid of failing him. That pressure doesn't just affect her, it affects Buster too. When Buster says he sometimes wishes Christmas wasn't such a big deal, he isn't being ungrateful. He's tired of carrying his mom's worry. Then the show cuts to the opposite kind of pressure. Outside the school, trumpets blast as Muffy arrives like royalty. She calls herself the Princess of Christmas and announces her party like it's a national event. Everyone is invited. When Muffy asks Francine to arrive early to help set up, she ignores what Francine has already told her. Francine can't come, but Muffy isn't listening. These segments show two different kinds of holiday pressure happening at the same time. Mrs. Baxter is afraid Christmas won't be special enough, while Muffy is afraid it won't be big enough.
Hey, I have to do some shopping. You want to come?
Nah, I'm going right to bed. My mother woke me up at 6 this morning. She thought it was Christmas.
She did.
Yeah, it's happened every year since my parents got divorced. On the days right before Christmas, my mom starts getting up really early.
It's Christmas!
She cooks pancakes and puts out all the presents. Then I tell her it's only December 23rd, and she goes back to bed.
Weird.
I think she just gets really nervous that I won't have a good Christmas because my dad's not with us.
That's too bad.
Yeah, sometimes I wish Christmas wasn't such a big deal.
I, Muffy, the Princess of Christmas, invite one and all to my holiday extravaganza.
Her what?
My party! It's at 5 o'clock tomorrow. Presents for everyone. Oh, Francine, why don't you come early so you can help me set up?
But Muffy, I told you I can't come! Ugh! Why won't she listen?
Lutefisk?
Arthur is currently alone at the mall, trying to do what he thinks a good Christmas looks like. Arthur sees an infomercial for a kitchen machine on a TV screen. It chops, peels, and cooks, and the price flashes in his glasses. To Arthur, this feels perfect, not because it's flashy, but because it seems useful. It feels like something his dad would actually enjoy. But when Arthur asks for it, it's already sold out. That's the first setback. The store clerk quickly offers a different item instead, an olive de Pitter. Arthur doesn't really want it, but it's available. And under holiday pressure, available starts to feel good enough. This is how Christmas shopping often works. You don't always get what you planned. Arthur leaves the store with the bag and a bit of relief. One gift is done, and there's one more to go. As Arthur walks through the mall, he spots a glass bird in a window display. It's the same kind of bird he broke months earlier while playing with DW. This moment matters because Arthur isn't trying to impress anyone. To him, this gift feels like a second chance. Arthur rushes into the store and immediately sees a long line with only one cashier. Time is running out, but he waits anyway. He waits so long he gets tired. He even starts to drift off. But he stays in line because now this gift feels important. When it's finally his turn, Arthur carefully counts out his coins. He doesn't rush or complain. When Arthur leaves the store, he checks the time and realizes he's late. The pressure spikes again. He rushes through the mall, surrounded by loud music and repeating toy ads, including the same jingle he already hates, and everything feels overwhelming. When Arthur meets back up with Mrs. Reed, he says he got everything he needed, but she admits that one thing she wanted was sold out too. In that brief moment, the special reminds us that even grown-ups don't get everything they plan for during the holidays, no matter how hard they try.
Excuse me.
It peels, it cores, it shreds, it mashes, it juliennes, it even cooks for you. It's an entire kitchen at the press of a button. It's the Veginator, now on sale for only $5.99.
Wow, that's perfect for Dad. Excuse me, sir.
Sorry, we're sold out.
Aww.
But allow me to show you something else. Yes, sir. Selling like hotcakes. Uncle Nico's Olive de Pitter. You just stick an olive in, and out pops the pit.
I don't know.
I'll throw in the olives.
Only one more present to go. What to get Mom? Hey, it's that little glass bird I broke last summer.
Help! Help! Arthur, leave me alone! Arthur did it! Arthur did it!
Mom loved that bird. This'll really surprise her. Oh, brother!
Excuse me, young man. May I help you?
Huh? Oh, yeah. The little glass bird in the window, please.
I assume that will be cash?
Yes, ma'am.
25, 35, 45, 56, 57, 58, 59. There, $9.59.
Huh? Oh, yeah. Here you go.
Thanks. Happy holidays. Oh no, it's 4:13. Excuse me, sir. How do I get to the entrance with the giant candy cane?
Now, which giant candy cane would you be wanting, son? There's the giant green one in the Winter Wonderland, and there's the giant pink one by the reindeer stables, and...
The giant red one with the elves?
That would be Santa's workshop. Quickest ways through Toy Town.
Right on time. Did you get everything you needed?
Yep. How about you?
Well, almost everything. There was just one thing that was all sold out.
Back at the Reed house, DW grabs a chocolate chip cookie while her mom reminds her of something important. She explains that Santa can't always bring exactly what someone asked for. DW immediately takes this the wrong way. She asks if it's because she's been bad. Mrs. Reed reassures her, saying that isn't the reason at all. She explains that lots of kids want the same things, and sometimes Santa just can't do everything. But that explanation doesn't comfort DW. Instead, she looks for someone to blame. She decides it must be Arthur's fault for writing her letter wrong. Frustrated, she crumbles her cookie and declares that if you want something done right, you have to do it yourself. This moment shows how expectations can turn disappointment into anger, especially for kids who don't yet know how to handle those feelings. Mr. Reed enters with an announcement. He has a surprise as Uncle Fred's video Christmas card. The family gathers around the TV as the tape starts playing. Uncle Fred appears on screen, along with his dog Rory, both dressed for warm weather. The video is messy, loud, and full of mistakes. Uncle Fred trips over words, knocks things over, and accidentally shuts off the camera. The video isn't polished or perfect, but it doesn't need to be. For a moment, the pressure disappears, replaced by shared laughter. This scene quietly shows that joy doesn't come from things going smoothly. It comes from connection.
Now, DW, you know that Santa can't always get exactly the thing you want.
Why? Because I've been bad?
No, DW, you haven't been bad. It's just that, well, there are a lot of children wishing for the same thing, and...
It's because Arthur wrote my letter all wrong, isn't it? Boy, if you want something done right, you've got to do it yourself.
Hey, everyone. I've got a big surprise. Uncle Fred's video Christmas card.
Is this thing on? Oh, it is! Hi, sis! Hi, David, Arthur, DW, and of course, Whittle Kate. It's me, your Uncle Fred! And Rory. We're sorry, but we can't be with you this Christmas because we're going to...
Hawaii?
Florida! What the heck was that? Hey, who turned out the lights? Hey, Rory, no! That's not a dog treat!
Oh, that Fred.
He's so funny!
Remember last Christmas he stepped on that tea set Dad got for Mom?
That wasn't so funny.
Mr. Reed announces dinner. It's Arthur's favorite meal, but Arthur still looks unsure. He asks if Christmas dinner will be boring if they eat the same food twice. His mom explains that his dad has been thinking of doing something different this year. His dad proudly explains that they're going to have an authentic Christmas dinner based on what people might have eaten in Bethlehem. Arthur asks about pumpkin pie, only to learn that it didn't exist back then. His dad excitedly lists the menu: roast lamb, unleavened bread, and an ancient dish made of chickpeas chickpeas and wheat. Arthur imagines what this would really be like. In his fantasy, the family is sitting in a manger, surrounded by animals. His mom tries to reassure him that it will be fun. Arthur doesn't argue, he just says, I guess. This scene shows another kind of holiday pressure. Even when parents are trying to make things meaningful, their choices can still feel overwhelming. Arthur isn't angry, he's anxious. He wants Christmas to feel familiar and safe, and every change makes him worry that it won't.
Dinner! It's your favorite, Arthur.
But won't Christmas dinner be kind of boring if we have the same thing tonight?
Your father was thinking of doing something a little different this year.
We're going to have a really authentic Christmas dinner. The kind they might have actually eaten in Bethlehem when Jesus was born.
Did they have pumpkin pie back then?
No. The pumpkin is a New World vegetable. But with the help of this history of cooking book, I think I can put together a delicious meal. Let's see. We could have roast lamb with turmeric, unleavened bread, and pulse, an ancient Roman dish made from mashed chickpeas and wheat. Sounds great.
Daddy, there's sand in my hummus.
And my pulse is cold.
Hey, Arthur, want my camel?
Ew. No thanks.
And chocolate-covered dates. Oh, no, sorry, no chocolate. That's an Aztec food.
It'll be fun. Arthur?
I guess.
That night at the Crosswire Mansion, artificial snow is blowing everywhere. Inside, a band is playing loud Christmas music, and the party is already in full swing. Arthur looks around and feels disappointed. Christmas is tomorrow, and there's still no snow. Brain tries to explain that Christmas wasn't always celebrated in December, and that the date comes from older traditions. Arthur doesn't care about the history, he just wants snow. Muffy steps up to the microphone and announces that it's time to give out presents. She calls herself the Princess of Christmas, and speaks like she's in charge of everything. When she calls Francine's name, there's only silence. Muffy calls again, still nothing. The scene cuts to Francine's house where her family is happily playing together. Francine is laughing and winning coins, and suddenly the phone rings. On the other end, it's Muffy who demands to know where she is. Francine finally snaps. She explains again that she can't come because it's Hanukkah. She even counts how many times she's already said it. Muffy brushes it off and says Christmas is more important. That's when Francine loses her patience. She tells Muffy that Hanukkah matters to her and hangs up. This is the clearest moment of the episode's message. The conflict isn't about a party or a gift. It's about respect. Muffy's expectations are so big that they leave no room for anyone else's traditions. When Francine hangs up, it's not rude. It's her finally standing up for herself. Muffy immediately moves on and offers Francine's present to someone else. Instead of reflecting, she pushes forward, trying to keep her version of Christmas intact.
Gather round, my subjects. I, Muffy, the Princess of Christmas, will now give out your presents. The first one is for Francine Frensky. I said Francine Frensky. Will Miss Frensky come to the stage to accept her present?
Gimmel, I win again! Yes!
Francine, it's for you.
Hello?
Where are you? Everybody's waiting for you to accept your present, but you're not here.
Muffy, I told you exactly 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 28 times that I couldn't come to your party because it's Hanukkah, but you just didn't listen.
But you could see your family any old day. Besides, it's not like Hanukkah is as important as Christmas.
Well, it is to me.
How rude! Okay, who wants Francine's present?
Elsewhere in the party, Buster is completely exhausted. He's asleep at a snack table with his face and a piece of cake. Arthur wakes him up, and Buster, half awake, asks if it's Christmas again. Brain points out that Christmas seems to wear Buster out more than anything else. Buster agrees, but admits he doesn't know what else to do. That's when Arthur suggests something different and says, why not make a new holiday? Buster doesn't think that's possible, but Brain explains that some holidays were created for a reason, like Kwanzaa. Arthur jokingly names it Baxter Day, and Buster starts to think about it seriously. For the first time, he considers the idea of a holiday without pressure. This moment quietly sets up the solution to Buster's problem. When a holiday causes stress instead of joy, maybe the answer isn't to try harder, maybe it's to do something new.
Buster, wake up!
Is it Christmas again?
No,
And you have cake on your face.
Oh, that's nice.
Buster, maybe you and your mom shouldn't have Christmas. It just makes you really tired.
I know, but I don't know what else to do.
Why not create your own holiday?
You can't just invent a holiday, Arthur.
Well, sure you can. My family celebrates Kwanzaa, and that was invented for African Americans by Dr. Maulana Karenga in 1966.
See, Buster? You could celebrate Baxter Day.
Baxter Day. I wonder what that would be like.
Arthur comes home humming, clearly trying to stay in a good mood. That mood disappears the second he walks into the living room. He stops and stares at the Christmas tree in shock. The bottom half is completely decorated by DW, covered in lights, ornaments, unicorns, troll dolls, and pictures of kittens. DW proudly explains that it's their tree. Arthur immediately pushes back. To him, it doesn't look like a real Christmas tree. When Mrs. Reed asks what he means, Arthur describes a traditional tree with gold and silver decorations and popcorn. DW's decorations don't fit that image. Their mom calmly suggests a compromise. Arthur can decorate the rest of the tree however he wants. DW offers to help, but Arthur shuts her down. She crosses her arms and storms off. This scene shows how Arthur, just like DW earlier in the episode, is starting to let his expectations control how he treats others. What should be a shared family moment turns into a small and unnecessary conflict. When Arthur finishes decorating, he steps back and tries to block out the bottom of the tree with his hand. Even then, he admits it still looks strange. Deep down, he knows the problem isn't really the decorations, it's that the tree doesn't match the perfect picture he has in his head. Before he can sit with that feeling, his dad calls him and tells him to hurry up so the family won't be late for church.
What's that?
It's our tree, silly.
But it's all fluffy.
So?
It doesn't look like a real Christmas tree.
What did you have in mind?
Well, you know, a traditional tree with gold and silver balls and popcorn, not unicorns.
Well, you can make the rest of the tree just how you want it.
I'll help.
No, you won't. There. I guess if you cover the bottom part... Oh, what am I saying? It's still weird looking.
Come on, Arthur. We don't want to be late for church.
On the drive to church, the radio plays a loud and annoying commercial jingle. DW and Kate enjoy it, but Arthur can't stand it. He begs his dad to change the station. Mr. Reed does, but the new tape is another silly song that DW loves. Arthur briefly feels relief, then realizes he's still stuck listening to something he hates. After church, Vicky walks up to Arthur with a proud smile. He gives Arthur a Christmas present, the very first slice of his homemade banana bread. Arthur politely thanks him, but hesitates. When he finally takes a bite, he immediately regrets it. The bread tastes awful. Arthur asks if Binky peeled the bananas. Binky pauses, pulls out a notebook, and writes it down as a reminder for next time.
Hey, Arthur, I've got a Christmas present for you.
Really?
It's the very first slice of Binky Barnes banana bread.
Thanks.
Well, what are you waiting for? Aren't you gonna try it?
Ew. Did you peel the bananas?
Peel bananas.
Back at the Reed house, Arthur carefully finishes wrapping his last gift. He writes to Mom, "Love Arthur," and smiles to himself. He's confident about this one. No matter how strange the rest of Christmas has felt, he's sure this gift will be perfect. Before bed, he turns off the light and looks at the tree one more time. He admits it doesn't look so bad after all. For the first time in a while, Arthur seems calm, but it doesn't last long. DW suddenly turns the light back on and asks an important question. She asks, "Is there a fire in the fireplace?" Arthur says no. DW explains it's so Santa doesn't get burned. She proudly asks if she's the only one thinking about Santa's safety. Arthur rolls his eyes and looks straight at the audience. This is funny, but it also shows something important. While Arthur is focused on things being right, DW is focused on making sure everyone is taken care of. In the kitchen, DW pours Santa a glass of milk and explains how hard Santa works. When Arthur tries to grab a cookie, she stops him immediately and warns him about getting cold for Christmas. Once again, DW takes control, dragging Arthur along because there's one more thing that has to be done. Even now, the night before Christmas, the pressure to do everything perfectly hasn't stopped. Outside, DW fills a bucket with water for the reindeer. Arthur questions it, but she reminds him that they get thirsty too. Then, for a brief moment, something magical happens. A single snowflake falls into Arthur's hand. Arthur lights up with hope. This is exactly what he's been waiting for. But then, lightning flashes and the snow turns into rain. The moment disappears. Once again, reality doesn't match Arthur's expectations.
To Mom. Love, Arthur. There. Mom is gonna be so surprised. I can't wait till she opens it. It's not so bad looking, really. Good night, tree. See you bright and early.
Arthur, there's no fire in the fireplace, is there?
No. Why?
So Santa doesn't get burnt, silly. Am I the only one thinking of Santa's best interests here? Here's a little snack for him. It's a long way from the North Pole, and he has to work all night. Stop! Those are Santa's cookies. It's kids like you that get lumps of coal, Arthur Reed. Follow me. There's one more thing we have to do.
What's that for?
The reindeer. They get thirsty too.
Look! A snowflake! I don't believe it! It's going to... rain.
Later, Arthur lies in bed with Pal and accepts it. Even if it doesn't snow, it's still Christmas. He comforts himself by thinking about his mom's gift. That at least will be perfect. It's the one thing he feels sure about. He turns off the light, ready to sleep, when suddenly there's a loud noise outside. Arthur rushes into the living room and finds his parents talking to Uncle Fred at the door. Uncle Fred explains that his truck broke down right outside their house. Arthur is thrilled to see him. Fred apologizes for accidentally damaging the fence, brushing it off as clumsiness. His dog, Rory, runs inside and immediately causes chaos by chasing Pal through the house. As the dogs race around the Christmas tree, Rory suddenly grabs Arthur's wrapped present for his mom. Pal grabs the other end, and the gift becomes a chew toy in the middle of the chaos. Arthur panics. This is the one thing he thought he could control. The one thing that was supposed to be perfect. Arthur chases Rory around the house, begging him to stop. The scene cuts back and forth between the adults awkwardly trying to clean up spilled tea and Arthur desperately trying to save the gifts. Everything feels out of control. Eventually, Rory slips and the present lands in his hands. For a moment, it looks like disaster has been avoided. But before Arthur can relax, Mr. Reed firmly tells him it's time for bed. The dogs can play tomorrow, and Arthur looks down at Pal, who whines softly. Arthur doesn't say anything. He just listens. Arthur has spent the whole special chasing a perfect Christmas, a perfect traditions, and a perfect gifts. But every time he tries to hold on to that perfection, something gets in the way.
Oh well, even if it doesn't snow tomorrow, it's still Christmas. One thing's for sure, Mom is really gonna love that bird. At least that will turn out to be perfect. Good night, boy. What was that?
And I was just coming by to drop off some presents when the truck started smoking. I don't know what the heck is wrong with it.
Arthur, look who's here.
Uncle Fred!
Hey, Arthur, how the heck are you? Sorry about the fence. I had a little trouble parking. You know, clumsy me.
Cut it out, Rory! Oh!
Rory just loves Pal.
Okay, Arthur, back to bed. You'll see Uncle Fred tomorrow. He'll be staying with us tonight.
That's great! Well, good night, Uncle Fred. Come on, Pal. Pal? Oh, no! Ah! No! Rory, Pal! Stop it! Give that back! That's Mom's present! Hi-ya! Whoa! Whoa!
We're just lucky the truck went kerplooey right near your driveway. I mean, what a coincidence, right?
Fred, your tea?
Whoops! Clumsy me. Oh, gosh, it's on the floor, too.
I'll get some paper towels.
That's all right. We've got napkins.
I'll get it.
Ow!
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Rory, stop! You'll break it! That's not a doggy toy! Oh no. Pal! Get out of the way, pal! Get out of the way! Whew.
Arthur, back to bed now.
But
No buts. You and Pal can play with Rory tomorrow.
Before going to sleep, Arthur carefully places his mom's present on the highest shelf in the closet. He tells himself it'll be safe there. This small action shows how much weight Arthur has put on this gift. At this point, it's not just a present anymore, it's his backup plan. If everything else goes wrong, at least this one thing can go right. Christmas morning finally arrives. Soft light fills the house as cheerful music plays. DW's eyes snap open, full of excitement. She sits up and says, "It's Christmas." Then she explodes into action. She runs through the house, waking everyone up, shaking Arthur, pulling Mr. Reed out of bed, and announcing that Christmas has officially begun. For DW, there's no hesitation or doubt. This is exactly how Christmas is supposed to feel. As DW races through the house, she suddenly stops in her tracks. In the bathroom, she sees Uncle Fred shaving, dressed in red pajamas with white socks and shaving cream covering his face. To the audience, it's obvious what's happening, but to DW, this looks like Santa Claus. She freezes, stunned, then runs off without saying a word. Uncle Fred, completely unaware, shrugs and keeps shaving. This scene is important because it shows how expectations shape what we see. DW expects Santa to be real, so her brain fills in the gaps. She doesn't question it, she just believes. While Arthur has spent the entire special stressing over how things should be, DW accepts what's right in front of her. Arthur walks past Uncle Fred in the hallway and casually wishes him a Merry Christmas. To Arthur, there's nothing magical here. He sees exactly what's happening. This contrast matters because it shows us their worldview. Arthur's older now, his expectations are heavier and is more logical. DW, still convinced Santa is in the bathroom, drags a half-asleep Mr. Reed down the hallway. She insists Santa is real, that he's right there, and that he needs to meet her dad.
It's Christmas. Wake up, everyone! It's Christmas! Arthur, wake up! It's Christmas! It's Christmas!
Huh?
Mommy, Daddy, Christmas is here! Wake up! Wake up! Time to open the presents! Time to...
Well, hello there. Ow!
Morning, Uncle Fred. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, sport.
Santa's in our bathroom, Daddy. He has a big white beard and a red suit, and it was really, really him.
All right, all right.
Santa? Are you through in there? I want you to meet my dad. I think Santa's a little hard of hearing.
Can a kid get any privacy around here?
Oops, sorry.
The scene then switches to Buster and his mom. Mrs. Baxter is asleep, clearly exhausted with messy hair and dark circles under her eyes. Buster has to shake her awake to tell her it's finally Christmas. Even then, she double checks the date, worried she might be wrong again. This shows us how nervous Mrs. Baxter has been leading up to the holiday. For her, Christmas isn't just exciting, it's stressful. She's afraid of messing it up. Once she realizes it really is Christmas, Mrs. Baxter jumps into action. It's presents, pancakes, and go time. Buster opens a gift and gets excited when he sees his gift, but Mrs. Baxter panics, thinking she bought the wrong thing. She's convinced she made a mistake and immediately offers to return it. This reaction says a lot. She's so focused on getting everything right that she assumes she failed before Buster even complains. Buster explains that these are two different toys. The relief on Mrs. Baxter's face is instant, but the pressure doesn't stop there. Smoke suddenly fills the kitchen as the pancakes burn and the smoke alarm goes off. Mrs. Baxter is overwhelmed again, apologizing and stressing out. Buster, on the other hand, doesn't mind at all. He happily eats the burnt pancakes. This moment flips expectations on their head. The kid is fine, while the adult is the one who's struggling. The scene then cuts to the Crosswire mansion, where Muffy is surrounded by gifts. Her stocking is so big, she has to be pulled out of it. She proudly counts her presents and realizes she got 37 gifts in total. By every traditional Christmas standard, this is a perfect holiday. Muffy has everything she could want, but instead of being fully happy, Muffy feels something is missing. She looks at her new makeup kit and decides she doesn't even need it because she's already beautiful. Then she thinks about Francine. She wants to show off her gifts, but she can't because Francine isn't there and they're no longer friends. Even with piles of presents, Muffy feels lonely. This contrast is important. Buster's Christmas is messy, loud, and imperfect, but warm. Muffy's Christmas is big, expensive, and flashy, but empty. The special shows us that getting everything you want doesn't always give you what you need.
Hey, Mom, wake up. It's Christmas.
It is? Really? Are you sure it's the 25th?
Yep. See?
Okay, time for presents, time for pancakes. Let's get this show on the road.
Cool, it's Cybercard.
I'm sorry, Buster. We can return it.
Huh? Why?
Because you already have that one. See? I found it in your room right after I bought the other one.
That's Techno Trout, Mom. He's very different. He has a speckled belly and he doesn't have Cybercard's kung fu fin.
Oh, thank goodness. Oh no, the pancakes are burning. The pancakes are burning.
It's okay, Mom. I like them kind of brown. Or black.
No.
Got it. Oh, the Cindy Crawfish mini makeup kit. Thank you, Mom and Dad. Let's see. That makes 37 presents, including the calculator. This was the biggest Christmas ever. I can't wait to try this out. I don't need makeup. I'm already beautiful. But Francine doesn't have any, and she sure could use some. Oh, wait. I can't call her. We're not friends anymore. Who am I going to tell about all my cool presents?
Back at the Reed house, Christmas morning continues with the whole family together. Uncle Fred plays with baby Kate while gentle Christmas music plays in the background. Grandma Thora and Grandpa Dave are there too, and the house feels warm and exciting. Even here though, Mr. Reed is still committed to his authentic Christmas idea. When Grandpa Dave compliments the coffee, Mr. Reed explains that it isn't coffee at all, it's ground bark, because coffee didn't exist in ancient Jerusalem. It's a small joke, but it shows how hard Mr. Reed is trying to make this Christmas meaningful and correct. Meanwhile, Uncle Fred plays with baby Kate, using a silly voice and shaking the rattle. Of course, it breaks almost immediately. Fred just says, oops, and Kate laughs anyway. Nothing goes according to plan, and no one is upset. This reinforces one of the episode's main ideas. Perfection isn't required for joy. Arthur and DW sit by the Christmas tree, still arguing about what DW saw earlier. DW insists it was Santa in the bathroom. Arthur tries to explain it logically, saying it was probably Uncle Fred and that Santa wouldn't still be around in the morning. DW, however, sticks to her belief and even blames Arthur for Santa being late, saying her wish list was written wrong. This shows how DW's expectations are still very simple. If something goes wrong, there must be a clear reason. Mr. Reed then calls everyone's attention and announces it's time to open presents. DW is thrilled and immediately grabs a ribbon, but Arthur stops her. He tells everyone to wait and rushes upstairs. This is the moment Arthur has been building toward all episode. Everything he's worried about comes down to one gift. Arthur runs to his room and grabs his mom's present from the closet. As he pulls it down, it slips from his hands. The fall happens in slow motion. At first, it lands safely in a soft basket and Arthur relaxes, but then the box tips over and hits the hard floor. Arthur opens it, hoping against hope that it's okay. The glass bird is shattered. Arthur just stares at it and says, oh no, this is the breaking point of the episode. The one thing Arthur believed had to go perfectly doesn't, and now he has no backup plan.
Great coffee, David.
Actually, it's not coffee, it's ground bark. They didn't have coffee in ancient Jerusalem.
Oh.
And what does your brother Fred do, dear?
He works in a china shop.
You like the widow waddle, don't you? Don't you? Oops.
I'm telling you, it was Santa in the bathroom.
It was probably just Uncle Fred.
Since when does Uncle Fred have a white beard?
Well, why would Santa be here in the morning? He does all his work at night.
He was running a little late. Probably because you wrote my first wish list all wrong.
Attention, everyone. I think it's time we got started on those presents.
Finally.
Wait a minute. I'll be right back. Don't start without me. Oh, this is gonna be so good. I can't wait to see Mom's expression.
This is beautiful. It's the best present I've ever received. Arthur, you're perfect.
She's right, Arthur. You are perfect.
You're a grade A grandson.
Here, dear. It's the Little Angel Award.
Wow.
A special prize only given to perfect children.
What about me, Grandma? Aren't I perfect too?
You're almost perfect, honey.
Come on, everyone. We better hurry or we'll be late for the parade.
What a turnout for this Heroes of the 20th Century parade. There's Albert Einstein, moving much slower than the speed of light. And Mahatma Gandhi, showing no resistance, passive or otherwise, to this adoring crowd. And is that... Yes, it is! It's the Arthur Reed Balloon! The crowd is going wild, and with good reason. Arthur is the perfect 8-year-old boy. Arthur, 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 Arthur,
Oh, please, please, just don't be... Oh, no.
Downstairs, the wait to open presents is becoming unbearable, especially for DW. She can't sit still anymore and demands to know where Arthur is. Her mom explains that Arthur said he'd be down in just a minute. Uncle Fred decides to check on him and heads upstairs while everyone else waits. When Uncle Fred opens Arthur's door, he finds Arthur face down on his bed, crying. Arthur sits up and shows him the broken glass bird. This was supposed to be his mom's present. The one thing Arthur believed had to go perfectly. Now it's ruined, and Arthur feels like the whole day is ruined too. Uncle Fred suggests gluing it back together, but Arthur knows it won't be the same. To him, a cracked present means a failed Christmas. Uncle Fred sits beside him and reminds him that Christmas is about more than presents. Arthur admits he knows that's what grown-ups always say, but it doesn't make the disappointment hurt any less. He wanted to make his mom happy, and now he feels like he's failed. Uncle Fred looks at the gift tag and tells Arthur the day isn't over yet. There's still time. Arthur jokes that with his luck, he'll probably knock over the tree next, and Uncle Fred says that knocking things over is his job.
Hey, little buddy. Everybody's waiting for you. Arthur, what's wrong?
This is what's wrong. It was my present for Mom and I broke it.
Yikes. Maybe we could glue it back together.
No, it would look terrible. Everything's ruined.
Gee, that's a shame. But you know, Christmas is about more than just presents.
I know, that's what grown-ups always say, but she was really gonna like this.
Well, it's not over yet. There's still the whole day ahead of us. Let's go back down.
Yeah. With my luck, I'll probably knock over the tree.
Hey, that's my job.
Back downstairs, the Reed family finally starts opening presents. Mr. Reed unwraps another Veginator and sets it next to 2 others. He even jokes that now he'll have a backup in case the other 2 break. This scene shows how adults handle expectations differently. Mr. Reed doesn't need surprises or perfection. He just rolls with it. Meanwhile, Pal and Rory exchange gifts in their own way. Then it's DW's turn. She tears into a large present, fully confident she knows what it is. When she opens it, she freezes. It's a duck in a sailor suit. Mrs. Reed quickly explains that it's not just any duck. It can say 5,000 different things, but DW doesn't care. She wanted one thing, and this isn't it. DW says she isn't upset, but her face shows the truth. She is really disappointed. All her feelings come out at once, and she has a tantrum. She throws herself on the floor, crying and yelling about Tina, the talking tabby. To DW, this feels like a betrayal. She did everything right. She waited, she believed, and Santa still got it wrong. DW's breakdown isn't about the toy, it's about unmet expectations. When kids believe something is guaranteed, disappointment hits harder. But then something small happens. The duck starts talking. It introduces itself as Quackers and asks if DW loves it. DW pauses. She laughs. The anger drains out of her and is replaced with curiosity. The present still isn't what she wanted, but it's not nothing either. DW hugs the duck and admits it's kinda cute, even if it's not a cat, and her parents feel relieved.
Another Veginator! Well, now I'll have a backup if these 2 break.
I know what this must be. It's a duck.
But it's not just any duck, honey. It's a duck that can say 5,000 different things.
Can it say meow?
Probably not. Are you upset?
No. I wanted Tina the talking tabby! I wanted Tina the talking tabby! I wanted Tina for Christmas! I wanted tabby! Santa, how could you? This is the worst Christmas ever!
Hello, I'm Quackers. I love you. Do you love me?
You're kind of cute for someone who's not a kitty.
Quack-a-doodle-doo.
As the presents continue, Mrs. Reed opens a gift from Grandpa Dave and genuinely loves it. Arthur watches and starts to panic. In his head, he's already convinced himself that his mom thinks he forgot to get her anything at all. The pressure he's been carrying all episode comes rushing back. He knows he should explain what happened with the bird, but he's terrified of how she'll react. While everyone laughs at Quackers, Arthur slips into a fantasy. In it, the entire family stares at him in shock. His mom cries. Grandpa Dave talks about a clumsy gene, and even Uncle Fred jokes that Arthur is worse than him. The fantasy keeps getting worse until Binky suddenly appears, mocking Arthur for being a doofus. Arthur snaps and kicks him out of the fantasy, ending the scene. This imagined moment says a lot about Arthur's fear. He's not scared of getting in trouble, he's scared of disappointing people. In his mind, breaking the present isn't just an accident, it's proof that he failed. Arthur decides he'd rather be seen as clumsy than uncaring. He walks toward his mom, ready to confess, but before he can speak, Uncle Fred stops him. There's still one more present under the tree, one addressed to Mrs. Reed from Arthur. Arthur is confused. He didn't put another gift there, but when his mom opens it, she's thrilled. Inside is the tea set Uncle Fred broke last Christmas, the same one Arthur remembered she loved. Uncle Fred jokes about keeping it away from himself this year, and Mrs. Reed thanks Arthur, clearly touched. Arthur tries to speak, still wanting to tell the truth, but he's interrupted by a noise outside.
Oh, Dad, this is lovely.
Well, nothing's too good for my little girl.
Mom probably thinks I just forgot to get her a present. I should tell her what happened.
Twice! I can understand breaking my bird once, but twice?
dear. I hate to tell you this, but he's inherited the clumsy gene.
He's even worse than me.
Doofus.
Binky, what are you doing here? You're not supposed to be in this fantasy.
Oh, sorry. Try my peach cobbler?
Get out! Well, I guess I'd rather have Mom think I was a doofus than that I didn't get her anything. Oh, this isn't gonna be easy. Mom, I've got something to tell you.
Wait a minute. There's still one more present under the tree. It's for you, Jane, from Arthur.
It is?
Arthur, this is beautiful. It's the tea set that Fred broke last Christmas.
Better keep it away from me this year.
Thank you, Arthur. I'm really touched.
But
There's a tow truck outside.
Hey, the mechanic came through. I didn't think anybody would be able to fix my truck on Christmas Day, but I guess miracles do happen.
Now at Francine's house, where things are calm and cozy, Francine is full and content when her dad offers her more food, but she says she's full and can't eat anymore. Suddenly the doorbell rings. Confused, she gets up to answer it and finds Muffy standing there with her parents. Muffy's parents awkwardly explain that they were in the neighborhood and brought a ham as a gift. Francine's dad invites them inside. The tension is still there, but everyone is trying to be polite. This visit already feels different from Muffy's party. It's quieter, less flashy, and much more personal. Later, Muffy and Francine sit together with milk and cookies. Muffy finally apologizes. She admits she didn't listen because the party was really important to her. Francine doesn't respond right away. Instead, she grabs Muffy and takes her to another room. Francine shows Muffy the family menorah and explains what it means. It belonged to her great-grandmother and came all the way from Poland. On the last night of Hanukkah, family members gather together, bring homemade food, and celebrate as a group. As Francine talks, we see a fantasy of her family cooking, singing, and lighting the candles together. Francine explains that when her dad lights the menorah and they place it in the window, it makes her feel like she's part of something bigger than herself. It's not just a party, it's tradition, history, and connection. She asks Muffy if she understands now why it matters so much. Muffy does. She puts her hand on Francine's shoulder and apologizes again, this time sincerely. She admits she should have listened. Francine's dad then shares one more tradition. Every year, while Christians celebrate Christmas, the Frenskies do something special of their own. They go to the movies. This scene finally closes the conflict between Muffy and Francine. Muffy doesn't lose anything by listening. Instead, she gains understanding and finds a new way to bond with her best friend.
Frankie? I'm stuffed. That's weird. Who could that be? Muffy?
Hi, Francine. We were just in the neighborhood and decided to drop by. Here, we got you a ham.
Thanks. Come on in.
Okay. I'm sorry I didn't listen to you. It's just that you're my best friend, and that party was really important to me.
Come with me. I want to show you something. This is our menorah. My great-grandmother brought it all the way from Poland. On the last night of Hanukkah, all my relatives who live near Elwood City come over to our house. Everyone brings a dish of food they've made. And we have a potluck dinner.
You're gonna love my Kugel Bubbler.
After we say the prayer and my dad lights the candles, we put the menorah in the window. It's a really beautiful moment. It kind of makes me feel like I'm a part of something special. Do you understand why that's really important to me?
Yeah, I do. I'm sorry. I should have listened to you.
There's another special tradition we have, Muffy. It's something we do every year when Christians are celebrating Christmas.
What's that?
Go to the movies! Come on, get your coat.
The episode then shifts to Buster and his mom sitting in a restaurant. Buster is done eating and starts poking at a rolling dessert with his spoon. Even here, nothing feels settled. His mom is still looking at a list, already thinking about what comes next. She starts rattling off the rest of their plans for the day. They're seeing a holiday ice show, then they have to rush home so she can cook dinner, make Yorkshire pudding, and watch It's a Wonderful Life again. Christmas for his mom isn't just a day, it's a schedule. Buster tries to interrupt her several times before she finally stops and listens. When she asks what's wrong, he surprises her. He tells her this has actually been a really great Christmas so far. She's relieved, clearly worried that she hasn't done enough. But Buster follows that up with something more important. He says, maybe Christmas doesn't have to be so great every year. Maybe it could just be a day where they relax. The idea completely throws his mom off. Relaxing on Christmas sounds almost wrong to her. Buster suggests sleeping in, then he goes even further. They don't even have to call it Christmas. It could be their own holiday, something just for them. He suggests the name Baxter Day. That's when his mom finally lets go. She crumples her list and asks for the check. The moment isn't big or dramatic, but it's important. For the first time she chooses her kid over the checklist, the scene ends with a small accident. Buster's dessert flies off his spoon and lands in the waiter's hair. Instead of panicking or apologizing endlessly, they both burst out laughing. It's messy, imperfect, and unscripted, but it's also the happiest we've seen them all day.
This profiterole keeps rolling away. I should have had the ice cream.
And after this, we've got tickets for the Penguins on Ice Christmas special.
Mom.
Then we have to rush home so I can put the roast in and make the Yorkshire pudding.
Mom.
And then we'll watch It's a Wonderful Life together for the 5th time and...
Mom!
Yes, dear?
This has been a really great Christmas so far.
It has? Oh, I'm so relieved.
But maybe it doesn't have to be so great every year. Maybe Christmas could be a day where we just relax.
Relax? On Christmas?
You could sleep late. And we don't even have to call it Christmas. It could be our own holiday. Baxter Day.
Check, please!
Sorry.
The next scene opens after a huge meal. The table is covered in leftovers, and everyone looks full and happy. Grandma Dora compliments Mr. Reed on the food, and Grandpa Dave jokes that he'll need a new belt. It's calm, warm, and comfortable, the opposite of the stress we saw earlier. Arthur talks about how good the food is and says he wants to eat like this every Christmas. It's a small line, but it matters a lot. Arthur isn't talking about gifts or surprises anymore. He's talking about being together. Uncle Fred then comes in with good news. The truck is finally fixed, and they really are going to Florida. Outside, everyone gathers to say goodbye. Arthur pulls Uncle Fred aside and finally realizes the truth. The tea set wasn't really his gift. It was Uncle Fred's. Fred admits it was, but says it meant more coming from Arthur. What mattered wasn't who bought it, it was the thought behind it. Arthur thanks him and says that Christmas actually turned out pretty good after all. As they drive off, Grandpa Dave accidentally backs the truck into the fence. Mr. and Mrs. Reed just stare in shock. Baby Kate laughs, but no one yells or panics. It's one last reminder that things don't have to be perfect to be okay. The TV special doesn't end with everything going exactly as planned. It ends with people laughing, forgiving mistakes, and enjoying each other's company. And that's the point. Arthur's Perfect Christmas isn't about having the best holiday ever. It's about letting go of the pressure to make it perfect and realizing that the imperfect moments are usually the ones that matter most.
David, you really outdid yourself this time.
Oh, I'm gonna have to get a new belt.
This halva is delicious. I want to eat like this every Christmas. Could you pass the dates, Mom?
I love this new olive depitter, Arthur.
Hey, good news. I just called the garage. The mechanic was able to fix the truck. Looks like we're going to Florida after all, Rory.
That was your present for Mom, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it was a whole lot nicer coming from you.
Thanks, Uncle Fred. You were right. It turned out to be a pretty good Christmas after all.
Remember, Arthur, you don't always get what you want in life. Sometimes you get something better.
All right, let's get you two down to the garage.
Goodbye. Safe trip.
Bye-bye, Uncle Fred.
I love you.
So long, everyone!
Sorry!
Like father, like son.
It's snowing. It's snowing! Wow! This has been a perfect Christmas.
Christmas is almost over, but life hasn't stopped. It's just slowed down. We see George and his family celebrating together, dancing and singing. The scene moves to Brain's house. Kwanzaa music plays in the background while decorations are put up. Elsewhere, Binky is still at the homeless shelter, handing out cookies. Mr. Ratburn, meanwhile, is already thinking ahead. He cheerfully lists upcoming tests and quizzes, clearly excited for the new year. For him, planning and structure are comforting. This is his version of holiday happiness. Finally, we return to Francine and Muffy, now sitting together with their families. Everyone is laughing, relaxed, and genuinely enjoying each other's company. The tension from earlier is gone. Outside, Mrs. Baxter points at something in the skies and wonders if it might be a UFO. Buster squints and explains that it's just a satellite and hands her a warm drink. Then he smiles and says, "Happy Baxter Day."
Excellent.
These are terrific, son.
Thanks.
Let's see. We'll have a math test on January 15th, and a history test on January 20th, a geography quiz on February 1st. Oh, this is going to be such a good year!
How about that? Is that a UFO?
No, that's just a satellite. Happy Baxter Day, Mom.
In the final moments of the episode, DW opens the door and tells Arthur to come inside before he catches pneumonia. Arthur asks DW a question. He asks if she still likes Santa, even though she didn't get what she wanted. After everything we've seen, the crying, the disappointment, the pressure on the parents, this question is really important. DW doesn't hesitate. She says yes. Not only that, she confidently explains that Santa knew she would like quackers better than Tina the Talking Tabby. In her mind, the problem isn't that her wish wasn't granted. The problem was never trusting the outcome. She proudly shows Arthur that quackers can sing and immediately activates the toy. The song is loud, repetitive, and overwhelming, exactly the kind of thing Arthur can't stand. It's a funny gag, but it also sends the viewers a message about how DW didn't get what she wanted. She got something else and learned to love it.
Arthur, you better come inside before you catch pneumonia.
So, DW, do you still like Santa even though he didn't get you what you wanted?
Of course. He knew that I would like quackers much better than Tina. Look, I can even make him sing.
Quick, quack, quaddy quack. Squeeze my belly, squeeze my back. Quookie, quickie, quacky, quo.
Oh, no.
Pull my bill, pull my toe. Quickie, quacky, doodly doo. You love me and I love you.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Quick, quack, quaddy quack.
DW, turn that thing off.
Arthur didn't get a perfect plan or a flawless gift exchange, but he learned that kindness and help from others mattered more than perfection. Arthur steps back outside one last time and wishes everyone happy holidays. It's not just a sign off to the audience, it's a statement. This special isn't about one holiday, one tradition, or one perfect moment. It's about different people with different expectations, learning how to let them go. Arthur's perfect Christmas isn't perfect because everything goes right. It's perfect because it shows that disappointment is part of the season, and so is learning how to live with it.